And so this is my Graydle deck. I have all four of the Graydles: Graydle Slime, Graydle Eagle, Graydle Cobra, and Graydle Alligator. Graydle Slime. When this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can target 2 Graydle cards you control. Destroy them. If you do, special summon this card. You can only use the effect of Graydle Slimes per turn. When this card is summoned this way, you can target 1 Graydle monster in your graveyard and special summon a defense position. Typically, you send 2 Graydle cards, whether it be the monsters or the spells and traps, to the graveyard to special summon. Use this effect to bring back any of the level 3 Graydles, and then synchro into an 8-star monster. 8-star synchro. Typically, it would be Graydle Dragon himself. But his effect can also be used to summon Graydle Dragon back from the graveyard onto your field in face of defense mode. I sometimes do that. Graydle Eagle has 1500 attack. If this card is in your monster zone, it's destroyed by battle or a monster's effect and sent to the graveyard. You can target one face of monster your opponent controls. Equip this card to that target. While this card is equipped to that monster by this effect, take control of that monster. When this card leaves the field, destroy the equipped monster. The Cobra has the same effect. The only difference is if he's destroyed by battle or trap card's effect, you get the ability to take one of your opponent's monsters. Graydle Alligator, same thing. The only difference is if he's destroyed, if this card is in your monster zone, it's destroyed by battle or spell card's effect, send it to the graveyard. One good way to remember that little difference of each of their effects is Alligator, you see he's green, he's the color of spells. You see Cobra is purple, the color of traps, and Eagle is the color of a Valeno monster. So that right there lets you know when he's destroyed by a monster effect. Then I got Mother Grizzly, because all these can be summoned by Mother Grizzly when Mother Grizzly is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard. It's just a good way to search out any of these. Typically you'll search out, the level 3s, because you'll attack with this, it'll die, effect activates. You'll summon one of these, attack, it dies, then you take your opponent's monster, then attack your opponent with his monster. Because you're going to be doing that effect, that combo a lot. You're going to be attacking with these Graydles to your opponent to steal their monsters. It's a good idea to get something for that, right? Other than just taking their monster. So we got supply squad, so you can draw in the process of letting your monsters die on purpose. And because as you can see, this deck doesn't have no red screen because you want to be attacked, especially when you have Graydles on the field, because you'll get your supply squad's ability and you'll get the Graydles effects. We do have somewhat of a defensive card, of course. We have Graydle Parasite, which will let you summon any of the Graydle monsters from your deck when you're attacked while you have no monsters. So that's good enough defense. Then we got Wing Blast, in case you want to get rid of something that's attacking you. Moving on, we got Salvage, unless you grab any of these monsters back from the graveyard to your hand, unless you get 2 water monsters with 1500 or less attack, which is awesome. Galaxy Cyclone lets you target one set spell or trap card on the field and destroy it. During your main phase, except the turn in which this card went to the graveyard, you can banish it to target one face up spell or trap card on the field and destroy it. Sometimes I use it to destroy one of the Graydles that's equipped to one of my opponent's monsters, so that way, the Graydle monster will be in the graveyard, so I can salvage it, or so I could be wide open for the Graydle Parasite's effect case I need something else. Sometimes if I have a useless call haunted or something on the field, I sometimes want to get rid of it so I can make space. Use it however way you want. MST, good for getting rid of back row, Venny's emptiness, anything. You know how to use MST, right? Simple enough. Wind blast. Discard one card, target one card on the field that your opponent controls, and spin it to the top of their deck. It's good for slowing your opponent down to give you, some advantage. Also helps gets cards to the graveyard, so you can use called Haunted's effect. In case, for example, you wing blast, discard slime to the graveyard, called a Haunted Slime, then summon any of the level 3 Graydles, and then synchro into Graydle Dragon or any of the other 8-star synchros you have. So there's a combo right there. Then we have Blackhorn of Heaven for Pendulum Summoning. Also, it's useful against Synchro Summoning, Exceed Summoning. So that's what that's for. Call of Haunted, so you can recycle your Graydles. It really works well with Graydle Cobra, because whenever Call of Haunted is destroyed, it'll destroy Graydle Cobra. Graydle Cobra's effect will activate and lets you steal one of your opponent's monster. Graydle Parasite. When an opponent declares a direct attack, you can special summon Graydle monster from your deck in face of attack position. You must control no monsters to activate and to resolve this effect. When a Graydle monster you control declares a direct attack, you can target one monster in your opponent's graveyard, special summon it to your opponent's side of the field. Your opponent must control no monsters to activate and to resolve this effect. That second part I didn't understand at first when I first activated it, and I was a little confused. I'm like, what was the point? My monster is stronger than the monster I brought back. But then I realized, I'm supposed to bring back strong monsters with this effect. Have my Graydles, my weaker monsters attack it, so I can steal the stronger monster and attack my opponent with a strong monster. It's like, oh my god, it's like Monster Reborn. It's like a continuous Monster Reborn. So it's like, okay, that makes this card really, really, really good, defensively and offensively. And then we got Soul Charge, just because it's a really good card. Obviously, it helps you bring back some of these things. Because if you use Soul Charge, bring back a couple Graydles for defense. If your opponent attacks them, you'll just steal their monsters. So that's pretty good. But you can also use it so you can Exceed Summon, Synchro Summon. Because you can bring back Graydle Slime and a Graydle and Synchro for 8. We got 3 Graydle Dragon. You pretty much will summon all 3, so that's why there's 3 of them. Graydle Dragon. When this card is Synchro Summon, you can target 2 cards your opponent controls up to the number of other monsters used as Synchro materials and destroy them. So typically we destroy 2 cards. This card is destroyed by battle or by card effect and sent to the graveyard. You can target one other water monster in your graveyard, special summon it, but its effects are negated. You can only use that effect once per turn. So, something that can happen, if you synchro for him and he gets Blackhorn of Heaven, or he's warning, since he was destroyed and sent to the graveyard, his effect will activate to let you bring back another water monster from your graveyard onto the field, so you can bring back one of the Graydles. Even though it says the effect gets negated, that's only while on the field. When the Graydle dies, it's all battle or card effect and goes to the graveyard. Its effect will activate in the graveyard and resolve, and you get to steal a monster. But something I like too is that if I already have a Graydle Dragon in the graveyard and I have one on the field, and that one and this one, and the Graydle Dragon summon gets defeated by battle or card effect, I just bring back the other one that's in the graveyard, and keep the loop going. Black Rose, in case I steal somebody's 4-star tuner, I can use it with a 3-star Graydle and go into Black Rose and clear the field. Scrap Dragon, target one card I control, one card opponent controls, and destroy them. This is useful, if I have a griddle attached to a monster my opponent controls. I can synchro make this and then pop the griddle and then pop a card my opponent controls. Even though I do a lot of my destructions with Graydle Dragon himself, it doesn't hurt to have something extra. Especially if for some reason there's something that prevents my Graydle Dragon from using his ability, at least I have a backup. I have Scrap Dragon. Then I got Stardust Dragon, good for preventing destruction effects. So it's good to use this against him, for example, against Black Rose, against Exoton, against Torrential Tribute, things of that nature. Especially it's good against MST, so I don't want my Griddles to get MST'd. I don't want my Supply Squad to get MST'd. I don't want my Griddle Parasite to get MST'd. So Stardust is useful for that, obviously. Then Blackwing Dragon, it's for mainly chain burn style decks that burn you. So that's what he's there for. Hot Red Dragon Archfiend. Once per turn during main phase 1, you can destroy all other face-up attack position monsters on the field. Other monsters cannot attack during the turn you activate this effect. Useful against OTK decks that swarm the field. You can use this against them. Use this against Pendulum Summoning in case your opponent Pendulum Summon a whole bunch of monsters. Like, let's say they were Pendulum monsters. You can use Hot Red to get rid of them. And then set your Black Horn, for example, and then your opponent goes, and then your opponent tries to Pendulum Summon, you just Black Horn them. So that's a combo right there. Leo, the Keeper of the Sacred Trees, is a 10-star. One way you can make him is if you steal with Griddle one of your opponent's 5-star monsters, summon a Griddle Slime, which is a 5-star right there. That makes 10, and there you can make Leo, the Sacred Tree. He's a 3100. This card cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects, except during your main phase 2. And only during your main phase 2 can he be targeted. Other than that, he's a nice 3100 your opponent, it's gonna have trouble dealing with. Number 30, Asset Golem of Destruction. He's really only here in case your opponent plays Skill Drain. Skill Drain don't do much since the Griddles get their abilities in the graveyard. But if your opponent has Skill Drain, you can bring out Acid Golem and have a little bit of fun with a nice little 3000 beat stick. Wind Up Zen Main. If the face-up card on the field would be destroyed, you can detach a material from this card instead. Once per turn during end phase, in the turn in which this effect was used, target card on the field destroyed. It's good defensively, good to help get rid of stuff. You won't use them as much, but he's there just in case. It also on Exoton Knight. You would typically use them because you'd have Mother Grizzly. You can use Griddles to steal your opponent's level 4 monsters. Like let's say your opponent has a Thunder King or something. You summon a Griddle, attack, take his Thunder King. Or he has Denkoseku, you summon, attack, take your Denkoseku. And the following turn you can summon Griddle, Grizzly, Overlay, and go into an Exceed play. Of course, your opponent has to have more cards than you. Detach a material, destroy all cards on the field except for him, and your opponent takes no battle or effect damage that turn. You still can attack, but kill a monster. For some reason, a monster survived. Number 101. Detach 2 materials. Target one face-up attack position monster your opponent controls and attach it to this card as material. Once per turn, if this card, not once per turn, but if this card would be destroyed by a battle or card effect, detach a material from this card. Sky Blaster. Castiel, the Sky Blaster Musketeer. Detach one material, target one face-up monster on the field, changes to face-down defense position. You can detach 2 materials to target one face-up card on the field and shuffle into the deck. Typically, you will use that effect more than in the first effect. because you rather get rid of the monster or the card that's a problem. But typically, you rather get rid of the monster permanently, especially against Shadow Fusion monsters you don't want to go to graveyard. Steel Swarm Roach. When a level 5 or higher monster would be special summoned, you can detach one XYZ material from this card and get the special summon and destroy it. It works on inherent summon, so it's just like Black Horn of Heaven. So it's good against Synchro Summon, Contact Fuse, like the Ritual Beast. So that's what that's there for. It's good against Judgment Dragon, BLS. And that's the end of the deck profile.